Oh, wow. It's amazing. All you got to do is press live, and then here we are. So, hey, everybody. It's your old pal, Darren. I'm just going to go ahead and post something here and make sure that I can pin this comment. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know if I can. I'm not very good at this, as you guys may or may not know. Let me put on this thing. No, I don't know if I did it correctly. I'll just keep posting it throughout the entire stream. But hey, everybody, Darren here from coming at you live from the great state of Georgia. I will be joined very shortly by none other than Gigi Pedraza, who is the executive director of the LCF, which is the Latino Community Fund. So I'm gonna wait for her to join me, and we can chat in just a second. But for those of you that haven't been following what I've been up to, I am here canvassing in Cobb County, East Marietta, outside of Atlanta, because the runoff elections are on Tuesday. Today is Monday, and so we're going door to door, making sure that any and all registered Democrats in Georgia are voting and have made a plan. And as I said in the story earlier today, I'm happy to report that most people have, and it's pretty encouraging. A lot of people aren't home, but at least we went by and we left some literature to make sure they know what's going on. So I'm just going to make sure that I have all the technical stuff lined up. All right, so just hang tight, guys, because I want to make sure that we can get Gigi in here. So I'm just going to do that thing where you just kind of look at me and I just look into the camera while I wait to hear from LCF Georgia. Where are you at, guys? Because I gotta see you if I want to add you. Usually I'd play like a guitar. I'm getting a lot of people ask me if I speak Spanish. Unfortunately not. It's horrible. I speak Italian and a little Japanese and a little bit of French, but that's kind of on my list. I gotta do that. And everybody says, Italian, it's very close to Spanish. It's just different enough to where you can screw up. So I'm waiting for Gigi to join us, because I do want to keep talking about her. Because if you guys don't know, the reason why we're doing this is so we can amplify her voice and we can learn a little bit more about what she's doing here in Georgia and what she's doing for the Latinx and Hispanic community here in Georgia, which is a huge margin of victory, as we like to say, for a lot of minorities in states like Georgia. I myself being of the AAPI persuasion, a lot of BIPOC, brown, black folks, and a lot of Asian folks turn up to really to flip the Senate this year, and a lot of those voters are really making waves here in Georgia, and that's really exciting. So we want to speak to somebody who's been really on the ground with that. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get her in this conversation, guys. So you can keep asking me random questions, and I'll try and answer. Hold on a sec. Parla italiano, certo. Emma. Posso io parlare in italiano adesso, però? Questa conversazione non è una buona idea adesso. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm looking for Gigi, and I can't. I'm not seeing her, so I'm happy to keep talking about her, but I do want her to be able to speak for herself. Hello from Estonia. Wow. Well, there's a lot of folks who are not from the United States, and that's totally fair. Instagram is a worldwide thing, and I know a lot of people are probably wondering what the runoffs are, what they can do to help. So American politics are it's really confusing. A lot of politics are confusing, and it confuses me. I have to read up on a lot of things. But basically, the runoffs are to determine who is represented in the Senate, right? So the Senate is sort of a pretty important part of the sort of the three-ring circus of the government, of the republic, as it were. And what we're trying to accomplish is have Democratic representation to be, how should we say, more counted. I'm trying to make this as broad as possible in this part of the government that is a pretty important deciding factor in the way that a lot of policy would play out, if that makes sense. That may have been either really confusing or hopefully gets your brain around a little more. There's obviously it's more complicated than that, but that's sort of the broad strokes of things. We're trying to get people to support the right candidates so we can get them into the Senate and hopefully really empower a lot of the policy that we're trying to push forward with new President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So I'm going to go try and request Gigi, but I'm an idiot. I don't know how to do this stuff. Okay, hold on a sec. Let's look at this here. LCF. I'm almost positive I'm about to screw this up. I probably will. All right. Here we are. Are we good? Are we good? Is it back? These things don't happen without their bumps and bruises. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to invite Gigi. There she is. Wonderful. Here we go. Okay, here we go. It's, I think. I'm getting very, very excited. Hi, Gigi. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm sorry if you had to watch that ramble for like 10 minutes.
I was hoping you would sing. I was with your family.
I would have been happy to. I honestly, usually I do. It's just the guitar's over there, and I can sing right now if you like. That wasn't really singing. Gigi, so nice to meet you. Thank you for your patience. I was gonna keep talking about you, but I didn't want to say anything that was like depriving you of really getting to speak for yourself. But what I was reading off the sort of mission statement of the LCF. So I'm going to read this and tell our followers what the LCF is in so many words, and maybe you could put it in your own words. But the Latino Community Fund supports Latino serving nonprofit organizations in Georgia with advocacy, program development, technical assistance, and grant making. And your mission is to be a catalyst for investment, collaboration, collaborative work, and positive narrative with the Latinx and Hispanic community in Georgia. And you are the executive director of this, yes?
Yes, that's
wonderful. Correct. Is there anything that we left out or anything that we should mention to the people who are watching this?
No, I think you said it correctly. I think that the best way to translate the work that we do is that we want accurate and fair representation. We want dignity. We want a voice. And we want to make sure that people know that they belong in Georgia, because Georgia is a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multilingual, wonderful place that should welcome everybody that has made Georgia its home, like me.
And so what is the work that you guys have been doing during the runoff elections? What's what's the work on the ground like? Today I was canvassing, going from door to door. It's not the most glamorous of work. It's a lot of fun, but it's you've been at this for a while. I'm Mr. Hollywood, flying in at the last minute, trying to make whatever difference I can. But you've been really at this for a considerable amount of time. So what has the day-to-day been for you guys to really kind of push this through to the Senate?
Yes, I saw that you were in Cobb County.
Yeah.
For supporting that. So we really never stopped working. Actually, since 2018, real election, preparing for census, census all 2019, getting ready for 2020 when we thought census was going to be critical, census primary election, general election, and then runoffs. And so since the general election, we have reached over 15,000 Latinx, Hispanic folks, with information, literature, in person, canvassing, doing literature drops. We have a wonderful team of educators as well as volunteers that have been out every weekend. In 4 or 5 different counties. We have sent mailers, bilingual mailers in English and Spanish, to over 460,000 homes where at least one Hispanic Latinx voter lives. We have texted over 500,000 voters, not only voters that identify as Hispanic in the voter rolls, but also those that have a last name, because we know that there are some issues with data, right? We are a relatively new community in Georgia. For example, my husband is Puerto Rican, but in the voting rolls, he shows up as Black, but his last name is Rodriguez. He is not Black. So we want to make sure that we don't leave a stone, unturned. We have sent mailers to everybody, and we have been organizing digitally. We have a number of organizations join us as partners, local, national, fraternities, sororities. So we're doing everything that we can to make sure that people show up.
So there are a lot of folks that are on this right now from all over the world, as Instagram is, is an international body of exactly, everybody's included. Kind of like Georgia, I guess, or how Georgia should be at its best. So for the case for a lot of people who are watching from other countries, people who are not necessarily a part of the American Hispanic or Latinx community, I think there's a lot of people who are wondering what exactly is going on with Georgia. Why is this so important? Why am I talking about it? Why are people talking about where Georgia stands? What is the runoffs, and why is this so important for people to get the vote out? And once we get that answer, I'm going to ask a follow-up question to hopefully get some of the people watching involved and see how they can help. But if you can put in your own words, explain to these folks what's going on here in the States.
Sure. So, the government in the U.S., basically, it's a government of checks and balances. We have the executive branch and, President-elect Biden, of course, was elected in the general election. We have the Supreme Court, the judiciary, and then we have the legislative side. And so for a law, a bill, an idea to become a bill, and then to actually be signed into law, we need the Chamber of Representatives and the senators to actually approve those, right? To pass through those chambers. And so what we are deciding, and why this election is so critical, is because for the first time, well, I don't know if for the first time, but historically, the 2 seats for the 2 senators that represent Georgia are on the ballot. And it's these 2 Senate seats that are actually going to define the balance on the Senate. And so we have an opportunity to literally only the people in Georgia define and decide for the rest of the country for at least 2 years what type of Senate it's going to be available for President Biden to pass or block or rethink bills, and eventually decide on policies that are going to affect millions and millions and millions of people, voters and not voters, because policies affect all of us.
Mm-hmm. Now, so I guess, again, because I'm seeing an overwhelming amount of people who are checking in from around the world, which is very, very sweet. I appreciate their enthusiasm. They're obviously not American voters. And so for the people who are hopefully from Georgia who are watching this, or just outside of the state of Georgia in the United States, what are the kind of things that they can do? Whether it's, well, first of all, I'll start with things that I'll tell those folks. I mean, if you have family in the United States, or if you have family in Georgia, particularly perhaps you have some Hispanic or Latinx background and you have family who are in the state of Georgia, I would recommend, give them a call, let them know that, ask them if they've made a voting plan. Have they already, have they voted early already? Are they planning to go to the ballots? Do they have an absentee ballot? There's a lot of information about, ensuring that their vote counts online and otherwise, that you really kind of want to poke and make sure people are doing, because unfortunately for a lot of communities, especially it's a generational thing. A lot of we're kind of guilty of this too. We're the margin of victory. The Asian American, South Asian American, Black, Brown, a lot of Latino voters. There's a lot of people whose votes haven't been counted through a variety of circumstances. Some more nefarious than others, but one of those things is it's full of families that just don't vote and are not familiar with the process of voting and just haven't done it. And what's happening right now is there's an unprecedented interest from all generations in voting. This certainly is probably, I think in my lifetime, probably one of the most important Senate runoff elections that had such a huge margin of change. So if you're outside of the country, you can still kind of make small waves to hopefully encourage people who are in a position to vote and swing the Senate to vote. Phone banking is an option. Calling people and making sure that they have a plan. I don't know. Am I forgetting anything, Gigi? It's strange because a lot of people are from outside of the country, and I actually don't have an answer for them how they can be helpful. I don't know. Do you have any words of wisdom?
I think their friends, their, primos, cousin, everybody that they know that they are in Georgia, that they have a voice, and they have a voice and a vote that's going to impact millions and millions of people. And this is their chance.
Yeah.
think also remind them, if you have folks that are not comfortable in English, or maybe, you know, need a little help, you know, with reading or whatever it is, and maybe they can't see very well, that people have the right to bring an interpreter or to receive assistance. And it can be anybody, as long as it's not, you know, your union, you know, lead, or a candidate. It is your right. Language access is a huge thing in Georgia. Out of 159 counties, we only have one county that provides absentee ballots and actual ballots in Spanish or in any other language. So for us, it's really important that people feel welcome, that the voter experience is protected, and that people know that this is the right. And for people that are naturalized citizens like me, that are immigrants, to remember that you don't have to be born in the US, you don't have to be born here to belong here. This is our country, and participating in elections, if you can vote, is the way that we protect and support each other, because we have each other's backs. That's what we do, right? To love each other, to support each other. And if you cannot vote, you can still volunteer. You can take care of kids. Maybe you can bring some water to folks. You can call people. You can interpret, right? You can do all kinds of things. You can remind people to vote. You can text people to vote, although everybody's tired and, you know, the text thing. So there's lots of things that people can do.
I was going to ask just really quickly before I let you go. How is it that you said you yourself are an immigrant to the United States? You know, where and how did you come to the States, and what motivated you to become part of the LCF?
So all my family is in Peru. I came here because I married the right man, citizen.
Nice.
So I was able to naturalize, but for 10 years, I wasn't able to vote. And I was one of those that, you know, policies impacted me. And when I naturalized, it was a long journey for me to own my power as a human being. I am a firm believer that if you have a body, you have a brain, you have a voice, you are a leader. And so stepping into that space and say, I have the power to create the future that I want for me, for my two girls whose, you know, drawings you'll see here. You know, that's my job. And that is all of our jobs. So I am actually the founder of the organization too, along with 10 people. We got together and committed to create a space where we can facilitate and strengthen the community and work in partnership with folks already working, doing their best to provide for their families, to create opportunities for themselves. So that's the work that we do. And to remind folks that after the election tomorrow, the work only begins, because then we need to keep people accountable that are in office to make sure.
So that's what I was going to sort of leave us on. First of all, I'm seeing a lot of love from Peru, by the way. I'm seeing some Peruvian flags and some people who are, yeah. We see you guys. I guess as we move forward, you know, hopefully things can go in our favor in the next few days. For those, there's probably a small amount, but if you are from Georgia and you're watching this, or if you're in the United States, what are the steps that we want to take these next couple of days? What are the proactive things that we should be doing to well, I don't know, from your perspective as a grassroots organization, what are the things that we can that young people can be really doing to help push things in the right direction?
Talk to your friends. Talk to your friends. Remind them that they have the power. In Georgia, a lot of our voters are from a younger generation. These are folks that have lived in their own bodies, in their own experience. What is not to have a political voice, because their parents were not naturalized and they couldn't vote, right? They have the golden ticket, like Michelle,
yeah.
They have their golden ticket for their families, for their communities. You know, please do it for you, for your present, for your future, for your reality that you want to create. And also, if you have an absentee ballot and you haven't filled it out, don't send it by mail. Go and use one of the drop-off boxes. They are safe, secure, and make sure your vote counts. And if you don't want to leave it at a drop-off box, go tomorrow to any polling location and hand it over to an electoral worker. Your vote needs to be counted because we all need you.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Gigi, it's so lovely to meet you. You're an inspiration to not only myself, but hopefully some of the folks that have been on here to meet you and hear some words from you. All I can say is thank you for everything, for your time and for your work. And we'll keep our fingers crossed, but that'll only take us so far. We have to be proactive and conscious about our civil duties and the responsibility that we have as not only citizens of the United States, but citizens of the world. And Yeah, thank you. What a pleasure. And hopefully I'll be seeing you around, masked and safe somewhere out there in the field. All right.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you,
Take
George.
care. Bye-bye.